It's time to go back to Battlefield.
Alright, episode 9 of the podcast. I'm your main host, you already know who I am, RandomAlec. And we have, he's not necessarily a special guest on this episode, he's always here. We'll just call him special. We have Infidel with us.
Hey guys.
So yeah, Halo 4 came out this Tuesday. We're going to talk about it. This is going to be a quick podcast because we're trying to jump right back in and play some more Halo 4. So
We'll try to make it quick, but we all know how that turns out.
Yeah, it always turns out a little difficult because I think for the past 2 episodes we've also said that and it didn't work out so well. But I just wanted to run through some quick Battlefield news and Medal of Honor. It's safe to say we're not playing either game right now, unfortunately. Medal of Honor pretty much just came out, but Halo 4 is pretty awesome, so we're not necessarily playing either one of those games. But the big deal about Battlefield right now is that, for those of you that don't know, 5 days ago, the original Battlefield 1942 has become available for free for anyone that basically has an Origin account. So, I told Infidel about this before we started the podcast, and it's just awesome. Like, if anyone has ever played Battlefield 1942, or if you haven't, this is obviously a free download for the PC. Definitely make sure to download it. In the show notes we'll include like the details to get the free version, and they have like a little Q&A about it. The interesting thing is Battlefield 1942, to begin with, obviously started the entire Battlefield world, and to this day, even in Battlefield 3, they add things to the game that is based off of mods and everything from 1942. We've talked about it before on the podcast. So
a lot of times.
Yeah. So it's interesting because in the Q&A, where they announce on Battlelog that Battlefield 1942 is available for free and whatever, is that they're not sure if mods will necessarily work for this free download of the game. So I'm sure people have already tried it out and figured out if they work or not. So you could probably Google that and you'll be able to find out if mods like Desert Combat will work for the game, which would be awesome. I'm definitely going to be playing Battlefield 1942, so I'll see if there's like some type of friends list. I guess it works with the same Battlelog friends list since they merged that with Origin recently. And I'll definitely be playing that. So, moving on.
Assuming you have your new laptop in time.
Yeah, well, I get a new laptop next week also. If not, I probably wouldn't be able to play that on my current laptop anyway.
He said that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's taken a while, actually. It was supposed to be sent out last Friday, and then it didn't happen, so now it's set to come out. To get here on
Walmart,
Tuesday. No, not from Walmart. Oh god, please no. So yeah, to go along with the Battlefield 1942, they also released a little concept art booklet for those of you that are big time fans of 1942. I know a lot of people still actually play that game. You can search on YouTube and find recent uploaded videos of people playing that game still. It's just a great game. Final Battlefield thing is, like I said, we're running through all this really quickly on this episode, is there's going to be double XP next week for 144 hours straight. And this will be from November 12th. What do you mean adds up?
Well, how many days is 144 hours or whatever you said?
Oh, I haven't calculated that. you expect too much. That's too much work, exactly.
That's for those professional people.
Yeah, I don't even have a calculator near me, and I don't feel like doing math in my head right now, so whatever. Either way, it's from November 12th to 18th, which is what I was going to say. So 6 days, more or less. Because it probably starts like at some weird time on the first day and then ends at another weird time on the last day.
Weird time for us Americans.
So yeah, that's the Battlefield news. Medal of Honor Warfighter news. They've been releasing a bunch of server updates. We've talked about that before, how they're able to do that. They haven't really added anything to the game. They've just been fixing little bugs and glitches here and there. More with like the in-game stuff and Battlelog interaction. Like some of the stats have been off, so they've been fixing that really. There is a nice little thing that I discovered before they even shared it on Battlelog, is that if you watch the Zero Dark 30 movie trailer, you'll get an exclusive camo for the MP7 in game. And
wow, it's a good thing MP7 is such an amazing gun.
Yeah, well, I haven't used it. I honestly hate it. A lot of people use it though, and that's that's after the fact that the beta was out and everything, and it was like super OP in it, and they nerfed it supposedly, and I still think it's like super ridiculous. But either way, I mean, if you're not playing Medal of Honor Warfighter, some people know that they're making a Zero Dark 30 movie, which comes out in December. The trailer
Which
is great.
About the raid on Bin Laden.
Right. The trailer for the actual movie, like the one that gives you this exclusive camo, is a great trailer. The movie looks great. I was about to say the game looks great. But yeah, so you guys can watch that and you get a camo. If not, you just enjoy the trailer. The movie comes out in December, like I said. So, that's
You
also
didn't
the
say
same
that,
time.
So it's not like you said.
Yeah, no, I'll say it a third time if you want, Infidel. I don't know.
I don't recall you saying it, so whatever.
Yeah, but also the movie. I think it was Infidel that asked me this once. The movie also, well, the map pack. To say it properly, I guess. The map pack will release supposedly on the same day as the release of the movie in December. But obviously, if they have problems with that or something, it'll probably release like a couple of days after or whatever. So we'll see.
And what day in December is that coming out?
I have no idea.
Do you have a general idea? Early December, late December?
Okay, here we go. It
Christmas
says on the
time?
battle log post. I scroll down a bit, and it's in theaters December 19th. So.
Okay, so that's after not zero. Aftermath comes out.
Right. Yeah.
Aftermath comes out the 4th of December.
Right. Well, remember, I also mentioned that to you. That's something you just reminded me about. They recently announced that apparently Aftermath is going to come out on November 27th. This is obviously for... Oh, you know what it is that's messing that all up? They're referring to the PS3 premium members, and they have that like 2-week or 1 week early thing, so that's why it's coming out.
It's coming out for everyone else on December 4th, and premium members it's...
Right, by December 4th, everyone is going to have it. That's what they mean by that. So yeah, I mean, a lot of DLC in December, I guess, and you have the Zero Dark 30 movie also coming out. Unfortunately, only US... well, it's unfortunate for us, the European players, like Trigger Happy, that didn't get the Zero Dark 30 DLC for Medal of Honor included with their pre-order or their game purchase, I guess. So yeah, only US copies of Medal of Honor Warfighter are getting the Zero Dark 30 map pack for free. Alright then. So, Info, you want to talk about any of your stuff from your little world over there?
Oh,
any announcements? Hint, hint.
Well, first off, I'm going to thank you for giving me the great photoshopped picture. This is Infidel's World. That's I like that.
I threw in your little Pop-Tarts in there.
Yeah, the Pop-Tarts. I don't like raspberry Pop-Tarts. Sorry.
Oh, you don't? Oh, see, I shouldn't have assumed that then. I just figured. I mean, at least everyone starts off eating those, so.
Well, that's like the default Pop-Tart.
Right. Exactly. But yeah, so any Arma news? I know you've sent me a couple of videos and other things you've done.
Yep, I have created my first. I guess I'm gonna call it an Arma mashup, which is basically a bunch of 1-minute clips from a game I was playing, smashed up together. Sent it to Alec to see what he thought. Thought it was good for my first video. And Alec has inspired me to create a YouTube channel called Infidel's World. So you guys can go check that out. I will be uploading Arma videos, DayZ videos, Battlefield 1942 videos, now that I know that that's out.
Yeah, free. You're going to have to download that after the podcast, like you said.
Yeah, and free for that matter. Yeah. By the time you're listening to this, I will have my first video up, and possibly even more. So you guys should check that out, youtube.com/infidelsworld. Just how it sounds.
Yeah, that's all one word, obviously, and there's no apostrophe because that's not allowed in URLs. And, of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll have the link up there. Since it's obviously another YouTube page, we'll be able to have that annotation there, and you guys could just click on it and jump over to the Infidels World channel.
Yep.
So, yeah, you wanted to talk about Forge for Halo 4, since I haven't experienced it yet. I mean, we could talk about that first, and then, just overall
then do
impressions
our multiplayer
of the game.
first impressions.
Yep.
Well, Forge, it's close. Not much has changed since Reach. Something I noticed right off the bat that I disliked very much is there is no Forge world. There is no actual Forge world. Um,
Oh, interesting.
there's just the four Forge maps, which have their own style and their own and they have their own section of building materials.
Right.
So I was kind of disappointed that there was no Forge world where everything could you could do whatever you wanted. Because there are some features of like Impact, which is the asteroid map, that I'd love to have in another map like Ravine, which resembles Forge World, but is a lot smaller. Um, yeah, that I disliked, and few features I did like. So far the magnets system is very helpful.
Yeah, that's a
It
big
gets a
improvement.
little Yeah, it gets a little glitchy at times, but it is helpful. There's a lot more materials to work with. There's a lot of new features such as gravity wells, which you can reverse gravity uh, and do whatever with gravity basically. Uh, and really not much has changed except these small new features.
Okay, now I have a little like Q&A section for you about Forge.
Oh,
Coincidentally, first
okay.
of all, I had just heard this morning, I was browsing the Halo Waypoint forums and all that. There actually is a lot of disappointment around Forge. And also, with that, a lot of people are disappointed with the fact that, I haven't messed with this either Forge or the game types. But people are saying that in the game types, you don't even have a flood available as a game type that you could edit or customize.
Yes, believe it or not, I did notice that.
Yeah, so that's the first thing I wanted to throw in there because hopefully they fix it somehow. I did know about you mentioned that on each map it has its own specific set of materials and all that. That's nice that they did that, but in the end, I think they should have had everything available. Maybe a separate category that says all other parts or
Yeah.
something, and you could throw those things in
Yes.
there anyway.
In each map, that section that has the map specific materials, it's named after the map.
Right.
Like Impact has the Impact materials. I really wish they put in Forge World. Like I don't care if it's a clone of the Reach's Forge World, but I really wish they did it that had everything in it.
Right. Now, what's the drawback of not having a Forge world in this game? Is it something you're a lot
The
more restricted to just that level that you loaded?
Yes, you're a lot more restricted, because the map specific items are very large categories, and
Right.
they have good like stuff in it. The maps are a lot smaller than they should be.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, they basically took Halo 3's Forge, which has which it was very restricted, was basically only messing with weapons and spawns and teleporters and stuff like that, and they merged it to Halo Reaches, where they have all these building materials, but the maps are still so restricted.
Right, right. Now, the last question I have, which I've noticed is from live streams before Halo 4 released, which is I noticed that when you're selecting the map for Forge in Halo 4, each map seems to have like little sections within it. I don't know if you know what I'm referring to. What do those mean? Is there like different parts of each map that you could go into?
I'm not entirely sure what you mean.
Yeah, like I know in Impact specifically, actually, let's say you're
There's
viewing the list of the maps, you hit Impact, you press A on it, and then it'll show you the option of
Oh, and
Impact,
there's
and then
multiple choices of the same map.
right, correct.
Oh, I did notice that. Yes, I've only chosen the default map. Not
Right.
entirely sure what the other ones are.
Yeah, I mean, I'll obviously, I'll mess around with Forge at some point, and I'm assuming, up to this point, I've assumed that it's just the same location or scenery overall, and it has different parts. It'll load a different geometry, I guess, to start with or whatever, and that's more or less the sense of Forge World, I guess, that they put in the game.
Yeah. Another disappointment about Forge is I was expecting all the maps from matchmaking to for you to be able to forge in them like you would in the Forge maps, but you
Right.
can't.
Yeah.
When you're
Yeah.
doing
That.
that, it is just like Halo 3 Forge.
Yeah. You were able to do that in Halo Reach as well, right? Because I know they did that for some of the playlists even. Or am I wrong about that?
Um, in some of the Halo Reach maps, there were certain scenery and some structure items that you could place in the built-in maps. I'm gonna say,
Right. Yeah. That's what I
but
figured.
it was limited.
Yeah, that's I mean that's something hopefully they change it and all that. I do have a little bit of news for Halo 4 players actually is that speaking of playlists and all that, we've talked about them a little bit. Right now we basically have the playlists that for the most part are new to Halo 4, with the release of Halo 4. Um a lot of people are looking for Team Sniper playlist, Team SWAT, all of those things. They
But they're not there.
actually, yeah, I actually stumbled upon this morning also on the Halo Waypoint forums, and they are adding just the Team Swap playlist for now, next week already. So that's something they're gonna add into the rotation. And on top of that, they more or less announced, this hasn't been publicly announced. I guess I don't know if I just missed it or something. Is that they're actually gonna do weekly playlist updates to Halo 4. So next
What
week is just
exactly is
gonna
the
be Team
point of that?
SWAT. What's up?
What exactly is the point of that? And why not just put them all in?
I guess they have to work on them. I mean, I don't know how difficult it is to actually add the playlist and all that. For Team SWAT specifically, I guess maybe this is considered an early edition or not. They're kind of taking about a week to work on the playlist, and really all they had to change was the DMR damage and battle rifle and the Magnum. So I don't know necessarily why it would take a week. Hopefully, it's not one playlist each week because that would be pretty disappointing, and no one's really gonna care about that if they're just releasing one thing each week.
Yeah.
Yeah. On top of that, I want to add that the flood playlist that's in Halo 4. That's more or less the bring over of infection from Halo Reach and the other Halo games. That was a disappointment to me. I have fun. I have fun playing Flood in Halo 4, but it's disappointing to when I found out that you can't even get one shot headshot kills or whatever with the Magnum anymore. And that brings us back to being able to edit the custom game types, and you can't even make a Flood playlist as a
Yes,
custom game.
and that's like a huge hit to like the big forgers, the
Yeah.
people that live on making maps. Like for example, the Halo Forge Epidemic, which is a YouTube channel. It has a bunch of guys that have made all the maps that people are familiar with, like Speed Halo.
Right. Yeah, I've played
Um,
that.
they make so many infection maps in Halo Reach that they must be punching dogs right now. How mad they are.
Or babies. You could say babies.
Ba- yeah, well, you kick dogs, I guess, and you punch babies.
Yeah, you kick dogs and punch babies. But yeah, I mean, exactly. That's exactly what I saw today on the forums. Just people in shock about it. That if anything, okay, you're limiting Forge because you don't have Forge World and all that, and you have the little different geometrical things for the maps. But yeah, you can't even edit like every single playlist that's default in the game. You can't make your own infection. I would love to make my own infection game mode. That's more like the previous Halo games where it's one shot to kill a zombie if you hit him in the head or whatever with the Magnum, and you can't even do that.
Well, it's because it's not a zombie game type; it's a flood game type.
Oh, whatever. You can't change it, which is what I hate because I hate that right away I was trying to shoot people in the head and I'm like, oh wait, he's not dead, and I just like
That's what the shotgun's for.
yeah, I know. But it's still fun. It's still fun to play Flood. I mean, I love every playlist right now in Halo 4. The game looks great overall. I guess we could go into our multiplayer impressions now. I just want to say that the game's great. Everyone needs to go out and get it. Millions of people are already playing it. I'm sure they'll soon announce that they sold, probably 4 or 5 million copies. I would assume within the first week.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah,
I've only had the game like a day, and I'm loving it myself.
yeah. This is also one of those games that people that have never played, any other Halo game, they're going out and buying this because everyone is just talking about it. It's a huge improvement. I've been telling people that Halo 4 to me is what Halo should have been all along, but for some reason Bungie never did that. Meaning that you're running around, you're still a human supposedly. Okay, fine, you might have some like biological enhancements or whatever, but you're also in this suit that gives you like so much more strength and everything. And throughout all these Halo games, you haven't been able to sprint as a default, like given thing, and that was ridiculous to not have it. And finally in Halo 4, you have something so small is integrated into the game on its own.
Yeah, one thing I dislike about Halo 4, which is actually there are very few things I dislike about Halo 4, but this one is it feels a little bit like they tried to make it Call of Duty.
Yeah, you mean like
The-
fast pace is what you're referring to?
no, I'm referring to the fact that they took a lot of Call of Duty features and put them in Halo where they shouldn't be.
Oh, okay, yeah. You're referring to loadouts, all the little perks and
Yeah,
all that.
loadouts.
Yeah.
The sprinting's a good thing. I like that. There's a few other things that you'd have to see for yourself to know.
Yeah, I mean, I love having the loadouts, and at the same time, they have the default ones, which is good. Obviously, when you're starting off, even if you buy the game, whether it was on release day or you buy it in 5 months, they also offer you those default loadouts, which will have like a battle rifle, depending on what playlist you're playing and all that, which is nice for people that are obviously just starting up. They don't just give you like a Magnum, and they're like, okay, go in there and fight those, SR40 guys. But yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, I'll admit it, they take a lot of things. I don't think it's just from Call of Duty. I think they're also taking things from, other games like Battlefield and all that. But yeah, I mean, that's the only way to stay in the game, really. It also gives you ideas. They implemented that in the Halo 4 world, but I think they did it perfectly. So I think it adds a nice touch to it, considering,
Yeah.
in the in-game story, it's all like 4 years later and all that, so you could just assume, they've improved things. So that's why you have all those packages and everything now that you could add to your soldier.
Yeah, and it makes sense why there's so many Spartans because they restarted, I guess, the Spartan program in the
Yeah.
storyline. Trying not
Yeah,
to
yeah.
spoil anything.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Alec basically said everything that I would say when it comes to Halo. I think 343 did a great job for taking over the series.
Yeah, definitely. I was actually gonna say something else. Oh, so as far as there's also another multiplayer aspect in Halo 4 that we could mention real quick. At least I want to, because I've completed, all the missions available so far, which is Spartan Ops.
Spartan Ops.
Yeah, and this is a separate. They have trailers of this, which I recommend you watch the trailers somewhere on YouTube or on the internet. You could probably watch them on Halo Waypoint as well, and they have a great trailer that'll literally convince you to buy these future episodes and everything. For now, you get the first episode for free. The way it works is for the next 10 weeks, they're gonna release one episode per week, and each episode is gonna have 5 chapters, which are basically 5 levels. You could play them co-op, solo. It'll be same difficulties, normal, heroic, or legendary. And yeah, so far I've played the first episode already. I played on legendary, both on, well, not both. I played it all on co-op, and then I played the first level solo because I was trying to get some achievements, of course. And it's great. I mean, to have the Spartan Ops as well separately, and they have a separate team working on that and everything, and that'll last 10 weeks for now at least. It's just a great,
Now, I'm sure everyone
Go
else that's like me right now is wondering what is Spartan Ops, because I've seen it, but I've seen it in the game, but I don't know what it is.
Right. Actually, before you start Spartan Ops within the game, I wasn't able to watch the video because I was getting all kinds of weird errors when when I was playing the game on release day, and that's when I first started playing, multiplayer and Spartan Ops, and I was getting all sorts of connection errors for some reason. But when you do start Spartan Ops for the first time, they show you, I believe, that same trailer, which is the one I was just referring to that you could watch on YouTube or whatever. And it's basically, from what I get out of it, it's a story separately from, Master Chief and all that. So it's more like you're playing as, let's say, Spartans from Halo Reach. You have like that random team of 4 players, whatever. They have their own names and their own backstories and everything. And you play these characters, which in the end, once you actually join the game, you're playing as your own Spartan with like his own armor and stuff. But you're following this separate storyline, which is these guys, end up on the Infinity.
No
they're transported there. Yeah, no spoilers. And yeah, you just play these missions, and while you're playing the missions, of course, you're getting the story. You get little cutscenes and subtitle storyline or whatever that's telling you what's going on and why you're there and everything.
So basically, it's Halo 4 ODST.
Right. That's what I was trying to get at. I mean, you're just playing as these other. Well, I've never played ODST. I'm still referring to Halo Reach more or less, which is you're just playing as other Spartans. Basically, is the story that they're trying to follow.
Yeah, but it's basically how ODST worked out, where it's Halo 3, but it's just a different storyline.
Okay, yeah, I guess you could say that as well. The nice thing is, like I said, is it's included in Halo 4 multiplayer and all that. So, only the first episode is gonna be free from what I've gotten out of it. I don't know if they are gonna change that, or we'll see next week when they release episode 2.
So something I noticed immediately is there is no firefight mode.
All right, yeah.
Do you know anything about that?
No. To repeat myself for like the 5th time, I also noticed that on Halo Waypoint this morning when I was browsing the forums, and I didn't see anything, to be honest. I just saw a bunch of threads of people complaining, within the title itself that there's no firefight, people begging to add it back. As far as that, we're talking about adding things to Forge and all that. I think they would do all that and never add firefight, if anything. I think that's something that, I think that's something that really belongs to Bungie, if anything. I don't know if they have the ability to even add something like that to Halo 4.
I'm pretty sure 343 owns everything about Halo now.
Yeah. I mean, so I don't know if there's a reason behind that. Hopefully they, at some point they release. It's nice when the developers release some type of thing, like a month or a week later, that they release a game saying, explaining all these things that people are complaining about right off the bat. I mean, they needed to tell us something. But yeah, so we talked about Halo 4. That was the most that we were going to do on this podcast. We wanted to talk about Halo 4, and we're anxious to get back in there and play some more. So I'm done talking. I don't know about you, Infidel.
I got nothing to say.
Yeah, so we'll be playing Halo 4. 10 minutes? Oh, man. I wanted to play Halo 4.
Half an hour is an extremely short podcast, okay?
Hey, well, we gave them a warning, so we're not gonna...
Yeah, but this is, I'm calling this Infidel's World part of the podcast.
Okay, so go ahead. Well, actually, okay, let's actually talk about that again. Do you have any plans on what type of videos you're going to be working on for your YouTube channel?
Like I said, Arma 2, DayZ, and Battlefield 1942. Maybe a little Minecraft in there. Whatever really. I guess I'm taking over basically the PC portion.
Right.
For what I can run on my little laptop here. I'm hoping that you, Alec, will kind of be my partner in this one. That way you can handle basically your all random gaming, and I can handle the PC stuff, and basically I'll be doing Arma mod videos, which you can see in my first uploaded video, which will hopefully I can come up with a good storyline to go behind it. You, Alec, you said that was a good idea, that there's that I had a little kind of a backstory to it.
Yeah, I was actually waiting for you to finish explaining because I wanted to get into that first video that you sent me. But continue, and then we'll talk about that.
Yeah, you said you liked how I put a backstory onto a gameplay.
Right.
Which is not that hard, really, in Arma, because everything's so realistic. For a video game, at least.
Right.
I'll be primarily playing the Ace mod, which we've talked about, and Daisy, I'm not very good at, really, so that probably won't be going on a lot. Hopefully I can get into 1942.
Yeah, definitely.
Any questions?
If anything, you know, for the 1942 stuff, I mean, you like you said, you'll be doing all the PC stuff, so I guess you guys will catch little glimpses of me in his videos. You know, my character, not me in the actual game, because that would be weird. But yeah, you'll probably see me running around over there.
There's a RandomAlec Easter egg in 1942.
Yeah, or me having some failed bombing runs, you know, on Infidel screen. You'll just see me in the background there, like crashing right into the ground or something. Yeah, that used to happen a lot back in the day when I played it. So we'll see if I can still do that.
I was in the war.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the first video that you sent me. First of all, are you actually going to be uploading that on YouTube?
Yes, it will be uploaded as soon as we're done recording.
Okay, now since I enjoyed that video so much, and obviously I would like for you to make more of those, are you planning on making more videos of that at least? Like story-based type of things?
Story-based, yes, I do.
Okay. I thought that was cool. I mean, when you guys see that, I enjoyed the video. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it too. I mean, it's a quick, you know, few minutes, and I actually like how Infidel did like the little story with it. So I thought it was a good video.
I'll have a backstory whenever possible, because there are some gameplays that wouldn't work. I mean, this one went very well with the story I came up with.
Right.
Any questions?
Yeah. No, that's it. I actually just remembered I had to make a couple of announcements as far as the podcast goes. So I don't know if you're done with Infidel's World.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, so the first thing, let me see if I remember, because now I just like lost everything. Okay, the first thing we need to announce is that the podcast is actually now going to be available on SoundCloud, which hopefully most of you know what that is. It's actually a website that's yeah, it's dedicated more towards like internet DJs and I guess any other type of people that produce any type of audio things. So they've had DJs? What?
Internet DJs?
Yeah, internet DJs. You don't know what those are? I mean, like, all these people that aren't actually famous, and they just DJ, like, you know, there's websites for that, like turntable.fm, and, you know, you go into a little room, and you DJ for people. Yeah.
All
but,
right.
I know it's something new, clearly, for you, Infidel. But anyway, so SoundCloud has had this, this beta program. I mean, I don't know how long it's been going on, but it's definitely been at least a few months. It's been around still in beta, because I've been applying for a couple months, and they finally accepted the Back to Battlefield podcast, you know, on their website, so it's going to be available on there. Now, the reason I wanted to do this is for two things. When you listen to the podcast on SoundCloud, you could actually, you know, you'll see like a little visual representation of the actual audio file, like the little waveform type of thing. And as you're listening, you could leave little comments on the actual parts of the podcast, like directly into the audio clip on the website. So that's something cool. That's always been a special thing that SoundCloud has. You could go around listening to music and everything, and there's all sorts of comments on these audio files. And then the other reason is on the All Random website. If you guys have ever, you know, most of you actually go on there to find out about the podcast and any other releases, is that the podcast has a like sort of a built-in player that you can listen to it right there on the website. That doesn't always work for everyone, especially depending on the browser you have and if you're using Windows or Mac, because it's based on like Flash, and then it uses like the Google player. So hopefully with SoundCloud I'll be able to use the media player that they have, and you know, we'll use that on the website, and that pretty much works for everyone, so it's going to make it easier. And then yeah, so this is episode 9 of the podcast. I actually mentioned this like the last episode. For episode 10, we're gonna update the image of the podcast. I figured it would be a good marker to update it and add more of the general concept of the podcast, which is that we talk about anything that has to do with the battlefield. So hopefully we could put together a little collage of images from all the different games we play and games that are coming out or whatever. If you guys have any suggestions, you could obviously tell us, and we'll be doing that by the next episode.
And don't miss my little battlefield picture there.
Oh yeah, we'll include the original picture that started it all, definitely, and
Whoa.
we'll try to squeeze in other things in there. Hopefully it'll be pictures that we come up with as well, because for those of you that don't know, I don't know if we ever mentioned it, the actual image right now of the podcast is an image that me and Infidel came up with, and we put it together, and I took the actual screenshot. So if you ever see anyone stealing that image, you could definitely let us know, and we'll do some little copyright infringement stuff, and we'll give you some portion of the profits for letting us know. But yeah, I mean,
we'll give you 1% of the profits, which is like 2 pennies.
Well, hopefully not 2 pennies in that case, because I mean, I've had people steal things from me before, and I've threatened to sue, and they quickly got rid of it. So it depends on how much they care to do something about it or not.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that's a good way to close out the podcast. It's been 10 minutes, Infidel, so there you go.
Not necessarily, but we can go with that.
Oh jeez, you just don't want me to play Halo 4. That's all that's happening here. You don't want me to play at all. I'm just gonna go cry in a corner. You know what? I'm taking my headset off, and you could keep this going.
Oh man, all right, we can end it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, we made our announcements about the podcast and all that. I feel like I'm still missing something, but if anything, by the next episode, you guys will. Oh, of course. If by the time you guys are listening to this, all the episodes of the podcast will also be available on SoundCloud, and hopefully I'll have the little web player integrated into the website. That is, if it's available already, and you guys will obviously notice that, and you can mess around with it and leave your comments directly on the podcast. It should be a fun experience for the podcast now. It's something new. So yeah, we'll catch you guys next time for episode 10, and yeah, we're gonna go play Halo 4 now. See ya.
Whoa, Guilty Spark.